Hello everyone and welcome to this top 16 Superstars race. As you can see, I'm in a tux. You probably guessed that from the thumbnail as well. I thought, hey, we're all stuck in at home, why not dress up for the top 16 Superstars race? So we decided to do it. It got a bit hot though later on, as you will see. As you can see, a very stacked grid here. I'm slightly P8. I was a bit disappointed with my qualifying. A perfect lap was actually a 42.4 or 42.3. And we didn't hit that once all night. Now, we did do a race after this, but I thought, you know, you watch a lot of the normal races with 20 cars in. You don't often see the top 16 Superstars race. And like I always do, I try and go for a different strategy. Now, you can see we're starting about 4 miles behind the start-finish line because it is a top 16 Superstars race. So we really have to be careful of our tyres here in terms of temperature. And obviously the big thing here is making sure we don't start on the corner. Good news for us, we just about make it, and you have the lovely TV camera top right side if you want some good graphics, of course. That will appear in the video later on. So we're going to head down here, we're going to start warming up our tyres, of course, making sure we get some temperature in those tyres, get the radar on, and we need to brake fairly early here in order to survive this first corner. So we brake, but I lift off the brake, and I really shouldn't have because I went a little bit deep there on the cold tyres. We have Garassa behind us in the Mitsubishi, unusual brand to see up there, but Garassa's doing a very good job with that. We have one other Audi in there, and that's Benito, who's in P10. So we are the lead Audi driver at the moment, which is happy days, of course, and we just put our brake balance to -4 there. Because I actually found that tyre wear wasn't too bad in this race. As we come into this right-hander here, you can see everybody up ahead. Now, it's a bit of a fuel-saving race. Fuel was a factor in this race, as was tyres, to be fair. So you will see a train, line astern train up ahead, which is why we jumped to the TV camera, of course. And the reason for this is that you want to save time in the pits. Now, you can drive a little bit easier on the tyres here by saving fuel, which is good for us, of course, being in the Audi, and tyre wear being quite significant. So I am going to look at trying to save fuel where I can. Now, we did do a race later on, and it turned out saving fuel and just going flat out was around the same sort of speed anyway. There was no real time loss, so it's just where you are. So at the moment, you can see I'm right behind Koke there in the BMW. It's best just to save fuel here and maybe try and gain a bit more in the pit stops and then go flat out a little bit later on. But we love this TV camera, especially when you see so many different manufacturers on the grid there. You know, Porsche, BMW, Audi, we've got Mitsubishi there. And Lamborghini there, you just see Porsches are together there, it looks like, actually, and Mercedes are further behind. So it all looks good. But as you can see here, we jump back on board, and you're going to see that fuel saving here. Not fuel saving there, of course. We're checking if Garassa's fuel saving. We can see he is, so we short shift there, and we're going to save a little bit of fuel. And you can see there, 13 laps versus 17 laps. So you can see fuel being an issue here. Now, in terms of strategies, you've got a choice of strategy here. Oh, you see a little bit of lag up ahead. Now, that unfortunately is going to actually give Francis a penalty. You're about to see that appear in just a second. The game obviously placed him somewhere and he didn't realise he was there. And that's actually a 2-second penalty. So we're actually going to gain a position here. P8 to P7 once we get round to that penalty line, which is after the long right-hander in this sector, sector 2. See a little bit of moves happening. So I was always confident I could stay with them with fuel saving. I knew Garassa was fuel saving as well. Bit of strategy, but as I say, strategy, there is 2 strategies you could do here. You could do the you could stop for softs again and again, and then put on hards at the very end, or you can do one less stop and go a little bit longer on the softs, which is going to be very worn at that point. Put softs on again and then put hards on, or obviously put hards on in between those. So you got a 2-stop and a 3-stop basically. So I was going to go for the alternative strategy to everybody else. That was my goal here. I thought, you know what, I've got to try something different. So we advance to lap number 4 now, because obviously, as I say, it's a fuel train at the moment. Everyone's just saving fuel here. B-Racer currently leading the way there in that Honda from the Porsche of Fulveros and Spider. And we're just coming into the chicane again. Now, the tricky thing with the chicane, you've got to centralise the car over these sausages, and yes, you will survive. Now, I did predict on stream the BMWs, or I predicted Koke would go in. I knew some people were going to go in, but both BMWs go in, so they're very good on tyres anyway. So they're going in for a very early first stop, and that's trying to get the undercut on the fuel train up ahead. So the question is whether it works or not. We advance to lap number 5 now. We're going to see who else goes in. We're still just in that fuel train up ahead, so we are still saving fuel as we come through there. Everybody else goes in apart from Fulveros. So I'm thinking, okay, Fudrossi is obviously doing my strategy or just coming in a lap later. So we're going to advance a little bit later on. Obviously, there's not that much entertainment at the initial part. It's all to do with strategy. Now, I kind of like these kind of races because now strategy plays a part. And as much as I like flat-out races, I do. If we have to have strategy, at least we can have a race where strategy actually works. And this is the case. You can see we advance on. So we're doing one less stop here to try and survive. Now, Skiller, you saw earlier on the end of lap 4, came in ahead of me on lap number 4. Now, he's right behind me now. So effectively, we are racing for position. We're both going to be doing 2 more stops. But I've got to be a bit smart about this. Skiller's right behind me here. He's going to have a very good run. He's going to have cleaner soft tyres. Look at my soft tyre. Look at my left rear there. It's absolutely ruined. So I'm going to let off here. I'm not going to fight this. And I'm going to just pull him behind. Play it smart. I'm not going to lose any time from doing that, really. Maybe lose a tenth or 2, but that's it. But overall, I survive rather than fighting it and potentially losing more time. Rated smart here. Try and survive this early strategy. Because I'm going to come out on the next lap. And I'm obviously going to have a lot fresher tyres than everybody else. So we're just going into the chicane now. And then into the left-hander. And then the right. And we're going to be careful here because B-Race is going to be going flat out here. Well, I'm trying to turn right as best as I can. And I dart into the pit lane here. So I come in. And I put the hard tyres on rather than go for a double stint of sauce. So the reason I do that is I want to be strong on the sauce at the end of the race. So I come out on hards, and I actually come out in fairly clean air here. Garassa is coming very, very fast, and we can jump over and actually protect that position. So we're in P10 at the moment as we come through this first chicane here. Race on the hards, we'll do a few laps on these, it's around 3 laps, and then we'll go on sauce all the way to the end there. And then hopefully we can gain some positions from saving time in the pit stops. That was the goal. As we jump onto this rear view camera, I quite quickly pick up that Garassa is on the soft tyres because he catches me at a fair pace of knots under braking. You're about to see that with this camera. I wanted to demonstrate this. I could see this every time I look behind me. Garassa closing on the radar. Look at that. Look at that braking distance change there. Garassa really closing up on me here. So it's one of those again, I don't really want to fight it at this moment in time. If I start fighting, I'm going to lose more time than it's worth. We're sort of in a different race at this moment in time. Yes, Garassa has to come in at the same amount of times as me still. However, Garassa's on the soft tyres. I'm on the hard tyres here. I'm holding up a little bit, but I know he's going to get past eventually. The braking distances are too large between the hard tyre and the soft tyre. So I've just got to play it safe. Now, so I just take the racing line here. I see Garassa go for that move. Let's swing round towards the front of that now. You can see Garassa gets a clean move done there. And my whole goal here now is let's make these hards be a little bit faster than what they normally are. Let's use the slipstream of Garassa and save a little bit of fuel at the same time to get a little bit faster lap times out the hards. So then when we go on the softs, we're a bit further up the grid. That's the whole goal here. So through we go. And let's see if we can do that. I'm going to try something new here with the editing, of course. We're going to advance through the laps. Do we stay with Garassa or do we not stay with Garassa? As we head towards the line now, we're about to start lap number 9. A few more in the pits. As we advance to lap 10, you can still see we're there, and then we advance to lap 11. We're about to join the thick of the action here as we head towards the first corner, and we just get ahead of Spider there, which is all good for us, and into turn 1 we go. So, we survived that, which is all brilliant stuff for us, and we can continue racing. Koke got out ahead of Garassa there. My whole goal here now is just to stay with these guys, because I'm actually going to come in the pits on this lap, because then I can use the softs until the end of the race. And obviously, at this moment in time, I'm sort of with the drivers I'm meant to be racing here. As we come through here. And yeah, Garassa's got 2 more stops, sorry, not 1 more stop that I said earlier. So Garassa goes defensively. I didn't want him to do that. I'm just taking the racing lines here. I didn't really want to fight Garassa at this moment in time, but I still kept fighting. It felt like it was a fight, but I didn't want to fight. Because Garassa was struggling on the soft tyres at this moment in time. You can see that again, understeer there on that left-hander. Continue up the hill. Again, takes a defensive line. I'm just taking the racing line here. As we go into the right-hander, you can see Garassa runs wide again. And at this moment in time, I've got the position. So I'm thinking, okay, I'll just have to accelerate round you then. I can't do anything more here. I'm just trying to, race a normal race. I go round the outside at this left-hander. Garassa gives me a good little bit of space there. So fair play from Garassa. Round we go, and we continue into the right-hander here, and we survived that. So happy days. We gain a few positions. Garassa runs quite wide there. You can see the huge train of cars behind me on that TV camera. Look at the train of cars there. Absolutely loads of people behind me. So obviously I've got on a really alternative strategy here. This actually helps me out a little bit, the fact that everyone's been slowed up here. But let's actually jump into the pits now. Let's put some softs on. You see Koke jumps in as well. Obviously realises my strategy there. So I put on softs. A few other people are going to be putting on softs. So at this point in time, this is where I'm about. I'm at the same sort of place as Coke at this moment in time. As we just get the tyres on, we're going to refuel. Now, as I'm struggling on fuel a little bit, I was going to go to 56. I decided to go to 52. And you'll find out later on that actually I'd still overfilled there even. So, yeah, it is what it is. Let's continue out anyway. And you can see, once again, we are in clean air, which is perfect for us. We've got brand new softs, clean air. Let's see what we can do. Can we catch up to Coke at least and have a good little race at the end? So we're in P13 at the moment. You're probably thinking, oh my word, it's dreadful. So let's speed up this a little bit and let's find out what happens later on in the lap. But, you know, this is where strategy, these short races and strategy, it gets a bit confusing because I'm in P13. I've done nothing really wrong. I've just got to P12 there as Benito just left there after getting a penalty. So we are the lead Audi driver. Somebody else gets clipped on that curb and spins the car. It's the Ferrari there. So we gain another position. So we're P11, but we don't really know where we are. We've got people ahead of us that might have to do 2 stops. Might have to only do 1 stop. You see, Fuveros has just come in now. And he came in on lap 6. So he's gone 6 and 6 at the moment. So he's obviously stayed out that bit longer. So potentially Fuveros has to do 2 stops. We've got Saskilla just come in. It's everywhere. You don't really know where you are in this race until you get towards the end, and then you start to guess. Especially on the last lap, then you can go, yeah, okay, I'm in this position. But at the moment, I'm P11, so I'm thinking, okay, I'll just continue on as normal as I've jumped up to P6 with all the pit stops. Let's see where we come out in terms of where everybody else is, because we're going to start to see people come out the pits here. You can see people coming out now. So that looks like Spider and Saskilla's just ahead there. As we jump into the braking zone, we're going to go side by side with Spider into the first corner here. Just enough room given by both drivers there. Lovely bit of driving, and we get ahead, and that's important in this race. Really important, because obviously Spider's going to have 1 lap fresher tyres, but we're going to suffer a little bit from that dirty air. So we jumped ahead there, which is all good for us. We've got Saskilla just up ahead. Now, the R8 is one of the better cars at this circuit, so potentially we could gain as we advance a little bit further on here. And you can see up ahead, we have a few drivers there where we can actually race. You know, we can see 3rd place up ahead. So the alternative strategy has not been the end of the world. It's just been a little bit different. But we do have Spider all over the back of us here. As we continue on, I am a bit worried about that Lamborghini because it's got good straight line speed. I go to the braking zone, a little bit half-heartedly defensive. Spider outbrakes himself slightly, does the right thing there. Straight lines to braking, that's the best way to stop the car. Straight lines it, runs a little bit deep there, has to now rework that gap to get back up right behind me. I am worried about Spider. Potentially I could go back down to P8 here at the moment. I started in P8, so it's not the end of the world doing an alternative strategy. Something a little bit different, a little bit more fun, to be honest. See, Dilster's just come in the pits there. Soft tyre, 1% of fuel left. So really gone to the brim there as Dilster. So that'll be Dilster's last pit stop. Do we come out ahead of Dilster? Dilster will have to put in quite a bit of fuel there. You can see I'm over 25% on fuel. So a lot of fuel to put in here. See some action up ahead as well. So we go up to P6 now. So we are gaining positions as we head towards the first corner again. Side-by-side action there with Fixer and Saskilla. Now, I quickly work out here that actually Fixer is on hard tyres, which is good for us because we're on soft tyres. And there is a good grip difference. You saw that earlier on when we were racing Garassa. So the potential here of actually going up further in this grid as we continue on round towards this right-hander as well. And you see Saskilla does get that position, and we've caught up to them very, very quickly. Now, my hope here is that Saskilla has actually used more of his tyres as well, but that BMW is very good on tyres anyway. So I was a little bit unsure. But you can see P3 there as well, Coke. So, you know, we are in this fight still. We can still see a podium. And I was pretty happy at this point in time, especially with the alternative strategy. We advanced a bit further ahead. We're right behind Fixer now, right behind. So it's whether we can get this position made and get up into that P5. You see a little bit of lag there. Always got to be a bit careful when you can see lag. It does sort itself out though, so we can have a good race. Another 44-second lap. I'd say I did go into a race afterwards. Oh, Spider goes for a move here. Can't quite get it done because of the slipstream. I forgot about this move. So Spider goes for that move, tries it, can't quite do it. So we keep that position for now, sticking in P6. So yeah, I did go into the race after and just went flat out for just a change in the normal strategy. And we did win that race actually, to be fair. So, you know, I would show you that race, but it's a bit more boring. And I'd say top 16, a bit more fun to watch. Alternative strategy, even more fun to watch. You see Spider goes for the move. Danny inside here. Just got me inside here. I've got to give it a little bit of room. I wasn't sure where Spider was in terms of his car. Got to be careful of pink here, and we are racing for fun, of course. Side by side now as we head down towards this left-hander. Spider tries to go around the outside here. Outbrakes me superbly there with the better grip on that soft tyre. I've got to give room on the exit, and Spider gets that move done. So fair play to Spider. In fact, if you look bottom left, I am sweating my ass off. Wow, that's what sim races are to you. Always stay hydrated and drink lots of water. Right, we're going to advance to lap 17 now. So you can see I stayed with the fight. Fixer's hard tyres actually come into play here. I'm just trying to survive now. You see my soft tyres very well worn. Spider and Fixer going at it here up ahead. Fixer goes defensive here. Spider trying to go around the outside here on the left-hander. Fixer brakes. Just understeers a little bit, slight tap there. We're just with a bit of ping-pongy physics, I think. We go up to P6, so we've made a position there. So happy days. We've got up 2 positions in this race. It's not the end of the world. Alternative strategy, which isn't the fastest strategy, but it was fun to do. As we'll jump to the TV camera to finish off. Because, you know, doing an alternative strategy can be fun. And recently we did another race, and the alternative strategy worked out well for us. So, you know, it's always worth a try. Let's go through the last corner now, and that is going to be P6 for us, or is it? Because Fixer runs out of fuel on the line, and we actually get P5 there. And P5 in top 16, I'm quite happy with that. You probably go, well, why did you have to do another race? Well, the way the point system is, as you know, I could argue for months for Sundays about the point system. I had to go again, and I got better points in the next race. But even so, P5 in top 16, I was very happy with that. I hope you enjoyed this top 16 video in the Tux. Thanks very much for watching. There's another video there on the screen if you want to watch that. My logo's there if you want to subscribe. But that's going to be it for me now, guys. Thanks very much for watching. I will see you in the next video.